do the best ideas come to you at, Steve?
I would say on once particularly, it was watching Martin. In the mornings, he would teach he would arrange the songs with the actors, and I'd just sit at the back and just listening to them. And on some days, you'd hear the same phrase over and over for 25 minutes. Now, for some people, that's like torture, but for me, I'm looking at a score and I'm hearing that process of hearing those arrangements, and also what I'm able to do in that session is I can hear Martin play the lead violin section over here, and then I can hear the mandolin get taught, and then the accordion, and then the drums. So I'm actually hearing the layers of all the kind of syncopated moments, and then at the end I'm hearing the music come together. So it's a bit like you've been given, this is the song, but this is it broken down. So you started to hear rhythms, and you can hear little melody lines that actually I might not have heard if I've heard the track in its entirety, or I have to work a lot harder to hear those things. Whereas in that process, I can hear everything stripped right down. So I'm making loads of notes as to what little things, little trills, or little kind of moments that are flashing here and there, and that's great for somebody in my position to think about how you might orchestrate, and then also watching them hold their instruments, because I knew I wanted them to move and play. So just watching how their fretwork would be affected if they're here or if they're here. So all that kind of thing, just the ergonomics of things were kind of happening in the room every morning for an hour.
So very much it goes into it.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't have anything at the start of rehearsals.
Wow.
Nothing.
But going in clean like that was probably a blessing?
Yeah. We did a workshop where Ender very, very generously wrote a kind of subplot, which was between each of the songs. There was like this musical moment where you'd meet the people of Dublin who fall in love at the beginning in these little sections, and then they fall out of love, and it was this big, grand idea. And it was just Ender trying to make sure that I had something to work with, and it was a gorgeous idea, and I made some terrible work in the workshop. So we're like, no, cut all that. We don't have to do any of that. Right. So I knew that didn't have to happen. I knew the story was going to be strong without lots of big shapes, big choreography, but we had to get the small stuff right. So I was kind of confident that with that creative team, I worked with John a lot as well, so I know that alongside each other, there's things that can happen in the room. So I didn't have anything prepared. In my head there was stuff, but I didn't have any shapes, I didn't have anything written down. And also that's my other thing as well about working with the cast that I've got. I don't want them to move like me, I want them to move like themselves. So until I'm in the room making physical work with them, I don't know what they're going to look like or what they're going to do for me. And
then opening night, it premieres. What was it like seeing it on the stage with an audience?
Well, it wasn't even on a stage, it was in a bar. The first version.
Oh, absolutely. Wow.
So we didn't even have a proper stage, and so it felt great.
Wow.
And then coming down to New York Theatre Workshop, that was when we had to commit to it being a set. And of course then Bob was like, well, he worked in a bar, so the set will be a bar. You know, it was that great. I mean, John had always said he wanted it to feel like a bar at the top that people could get involved in. Of course then the show has had this life, and this touring version where it's had to be bigger, or play in bigger auditoriums.
Right.
And the joy of it and the power of it was only ever really obvious to us when we started to play big theatres, and the show still does what it does, because I wouldn't have known that.
Tremendous rush.
Yeah.
Yeah, cool.